Hello, guys. Welcome to another DW live show number 20.
Show 20,
joined by, as usual, by Dom. What's that, mate? Say again.
We're back.
We're back with a vengeance. Yep. We had a bit of extra time off because some inconsiderate person decided to get a project that kept him busy all this week, mentioning no names.
Yeah, apologies. And someone wasn't brave enough to fly solo.
Nope. No.
It's going to happen at some point, I promise.
Yeah, I know.
How are you, Neil?
I'm terrified. Yeah, I'm good. You okay?
Yeah, I'm really good, thank you. It's been
how's your week been?
Do you know what? It's been an amazing week. I think the combination of, first of all, new hair, 3.5 months lockdown hair finally goes. It was really nice. So that happened at the weekend. And then I guess that was then added to in the fact that we were coming straight out of that and into our first, it wasn't a live event. It was a kind of a hybrid. We were filming live for a client this week. We were up in Milton Keynes. And it was just so nice to not be in the office and to be out doing something and actually feeling like you're working properly again. Although, as you know, we haven't really stopped all the way through, but it's been really lovely. What have you been doing?
Good for you. Oh, the usual, the same old. I mean, I'm going to talk about it in a bit, but we've obviously launched our brand new website.
You have.
So that's going down really well. We've got lots of new features on there. We've got some amazing things coming as well. I can't really say what they are yet because I don't want to jump the gun. But we're going to have some great features for supplier listings and freelancer listings and that kind of thing as well. New sections and honestly, tons of things coming up. So big thank you to our media partner Orchard, who've been working on the website with us. And just a big shout out to everyone who's a supplier or a freelancer. Make sure you head over to the section and just list yourselves. We're going to do it free until I think it's until the 1st of October, and then you can still stay on the free version, be slightly reduced, or we're going to have a super duper version. We haven't worked out the costs or the prices or the details yet, but trust me, the super duper one's going to be cool. So anyway, I'm actually
just going to take the opportunity to put your new website up on the screen so people can see it, because it is running and it is live. So this is the brand new www.thedelegatewranglers.com website, created by Orchard. Oh, you're getting a connection loss from my keyboard because it's the other side of the room at the moment. But yeah, it looks amazing. And I, as a supplier, was very glad to be able to get my name out there. So thank you, Neil, for allowing us to do that. It's great. It's a really nice new site. Paul's done a fantastic job with it.
Yeah, no, we're really delighted with it. So watch this space, guys. Anyway, this show's not just about plugging my website, although that would be a good show. I'm really delighted to bring you this show, guys. I mean, this is something that's really, massively close to my heart as well. We're going to be learning a lot about using Instagram for business today with fantastic Alison Courier from IMC Pro Solutions. Alison also works. Yeah, she also works for Paje Consultancy and does, training things for them as well. And she is a sister of Verity as well, who was on the show. Verity Wilkie was on the show a few weeks ago.
2-3 weeks ago. Yeah.
Yeah, the LinkedIn show. So between them, those two guys have got it all covered. Wow. And Dom, I don't know if this is an appropriate time, but if you've got the slide with the website up, they have got a very, very funky homepage of their website, and I'd love you all to see it. We'll get it up at some point if Dom hasn't got it this time.
I'd actually forgotten you asked me to do that, but
I did ask you to do it. It's all right, no worries. So,
all right.
Anyway, we're going to be covering lots of stuff with Alison, about creating a themed account, when to go. Oh, there you go. There's the homepage. Look at that. Now. That is a thing of beauty. I absolutely love that.
I mean, it's a good coverall, isn't it?
Yeah, it's fantastic. It's fantastic. I love it. Anyway, so we're going to be talking about going live, finding your target audience, when to use stories, setting up your perfect profile, that kind of thing. Things that we can all benefit. And I guess we're all using Instagram at the moment, but there's definitely lots and lots of tips out there. So really looking forward to that. So Dom, how's this chat room going?
I guess it's looking good so far. Should we do some hellos?
Give a few shout outs.
So first up, David Harris, I think was the first one there. Good morning, David. You're doing tons with podcasting, all sorts. It's Magic Man London.
Yeah.
Good morning, David. Craig McGee, Panoptic Events. Hi, nice to see you, Craig. And you commented again just now as well. Jan Denning, very nice to see you. Michelle Finn, Mark Vater. Anika, nice to see you again, Anita. Felicity Berry, Mandy Jennings, Laura K. Palabra. What did Craig say? Good morning, all. Coffee made, new campaign launching in an hour, and some learning with Delegate Wranglers. What a time to be alive. Absolutely right. Mandy, good morning. Becky Giles, good morning. Sarah, Sophia Ferguson, nice haircut, Dom. Thanks, Felicity. The only one to say so, but thank you. I'll take that. Crisco Productions, howdy. Charlie Hall, Avatar, morning, Avatar. How are you? God, we got a few more. Verity is there also. You would kind of hope she'd support her sister. Hi, it's Laura from Coombe. First week back from furlough. We open this Saturday too. Laura, very nice to have you with us. Very glad that you're finally out of furlough, and really lovely to hear that you're reopening on Saturday as well. And Diane has just also commented, fresh trim, Dom. Thank you very much indeed. Nice to see you.
Can I say that someone else in this room has also had a fresh trim, but doesn't like to crack on about it. Just saying.
To be fair, Di did the one during lockdown. It doesn't really count.
I did 4 during lockdown.
It absolutely doesn't count.
so anyway, I went for a professional one. No, she did a great job eventually. Sorry, Di.
Alan Green, sorry, just a couple more. Alan Green, Buenos dias from Remote Events in a sunny Madrid. Okay, Alan, you win the prize for Fair Field today. And Crisco Productions are delighted they got a shout out. Crisco, you got 2 shout outs. Yeah, go on.
I'm just going to jump in as well. We got Helena Camarillo on YouTube, who's watching from sunny Barcelona. So welcome to you guys.
What's further away from here, Madrid or Barcelona?
Probably Barcelona, just.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
Not much in it.
No, there probably isn't much in it. Anyway,
is there anyone further watching? Is there anyone further away watching?
If you can beat Barcelona or Madrid, please let us know in the comments below. I'm just going to see if we've got anyone. I know my friend Aaron's watching on LinkedIn. There's a couple of other people watching on LinkedIn as well. Karen Patton is watching on LinkedIn, I believe. Good morning to you both. I can't see who else is watching on LinkedIn. So we're covering all. And if you are watching on Delegate Wranglers on Twitter, which is at the Delegate Wranglers, please say hello on there. Neil will go and check that in a minute. Unfortunately, we can't stream to Instagram. There's various technical reasons why not, and technical and legal reasons why you can't stream to Instagram. But anyway, that's the hellos.
That might be coming soon, though, by the way. I had an update meeting with Facebook, and that might be coming soon. So forgot to tell you that, Dom. Watch this space.
You're all good on the inside info.
Well, I don't like to talk about it.
Stephanie Gary, I'm really sorry, but Costa del West Midlands does absolutely not count. Alex is watching in Ibiza. She currently wins. Although we need to do some mileage checks here, because Craig's in Glasgow, obviously. That's quite away from me. That's 510 miles from
Not from me, though.
I know.
Yeah,
you don't count.
Anyway, so as usual, we're live on YouTube. We're live on
everywhere.
Dom's LinkedIn page, isn't that right, Dom? Are we still live on there?
Yeah, we are live on LinkedIn. It's on my LinkedIn profile. So if you connect with me, and I'm going to put our LinkedIn, all of our social media handles on the screen in just a minute. If you use LinkedIn, if you use Instagram, please connect with all of us, because it's really nice to build our own networks out and help each other out. So we'll put all of the graphics on the screen in just a minute.
Yeah, basically, the bigger we grow on those kind of platforms, the bigger it enables us to be and to bring better shows to you, and develop the Delegate Wranglers even better. So the more that we can all chip into joining up on all our platforms, as well as Dom's as well, and Alison's, I guess, as well. We're going to flash all the details up on there as well later on.
I'm gonna jump in now, just picking up on something you and I spoke about the other day as well, Neil, because I want to do this now while we have some people, and then we'll do it again at the end later as well. Because you and I have already talked about the fact that we're going to carry on this show later into the year as well. I don't know if we would take a short break over summer. I'm not going away. I don't think you are.
Yeah, no.
We are going to carry on the show, and we've got a ton of stuff already planned. But we both said the other day in conversation that it's really important for us that this show continues to be valuable for people that are watching it week in, week out.
Yeah.
And so if you are watching, whether Neil, you run a poll on this in the group or something, but it would be really nice for those people watching. We want your input on what content you want to see here. The masterclasses definitely work. The LinkedIn one was really good. The Instagram one today is going to be really good. That sort of content's great. But what else do you want to see? What else do you want to see us plan in? Have you got an idea for a show? Have you got something that we think that you think would
something
be
you want to learn about?
Something that people need to learn about. We really, really want to make sure that this continues to deliver value, not just Neil and I being live for the sake of it. We've done all right for 20 shows so far, so hopefully we'll be able to continue that.
I'm thinking we're going for a TV series, Dom, me and you.
Oh, absolutely. Oh, I'm not sure. Sorry, did you say sitcom?
Yeah, both. I'm not going to swear because my mum's watching. Anyway,
what's your name?
Marilyn.
Marilyn, good morning. Where's she watching, Neil?
She's watching in sunny Southport, just down the road from me.
Oh, she didn't get the prize. Sorry, Marilyn.
Actually, we got someone from Greece. I've just noticed.
Have we?
Yes, somebody from Greece, and Di also passed me a note saying Germany and Mallorca. But someone from sunny Athens.
Daniela Bakulis. And Daniela, if I pronounce that wrong, I'm really sorry. But Daniela Bakulis, hello from sunny Athens, and many thanks for this session. Amazing. We've got France. Well, we're getting. This is good, Neil.
Yeah. Well, you
really
know,
good.
Spreading our wings wide. You know. Anyway, should we get on with the show?
Already, Alex has said she'd like a Twitter show.
A Twitter show.
Yes.
Watch a space. Twitter? Actually, guys, let us know in the feed. I've been thinking about doing a what do they call it? A Twitter. Oh God, I completely forgot the name of it. But we're basically going to do maybe like a Twitter.
Nailed it.
A Twitter conversation. You know, where we'll post up some questions and then people can get involved on Twitter as well. Yeah. So watch this space. We might be doing that soon. So let us know, guys, if you'd be up for that, because you know the Delegate Wranglers isn't really a discussion forum, but Twitter we could definitely do it on there. So anyway, should we get on with the show?
I think I'm gonna let you go onto screen and you can introduce who we have on today.
Okay. I am very happy to say we've got Alison Courier from IMC Pro Solutions. Alison also works with Paje Consultancy to provide training and solutions for them as well. Hello, Alison. How are you? Lovely to have you on the show.
Hello, I'm good. Thank you. Thanks for having me.
Yeah, you've been sitting very patiently there while me and Dom crack on about a load of rubbish.
I've just been listening to the people that are engaged throughout the world. It's amazing.
It's mad, isn't it? Absolutely madness.
Love it.
I know. How are you doing anyway? How are you? How have you been coping with lockdown? How's it affected you guys?
I'm very good, thank you. I am like you, very happy to have had the hair trimmed this week. So I'm feeling a lot lighter than I was on Monday morning, that's for sure. And I'm really excited because nails are coming back next week. So that's just me made now.
Dom's pleased about that as well. Dom's really happy about that.
I'm not on screen. I'm not saying anything.
But yeah, I mean, we're good. You know, social media and marketing is so important, particularly at a time when you can't actually get in front of people face to face. So, you know, we've really been,
coming to your own. Yeah.
Absolutely.
Fantastic. So do you want to tell us a bit about your background, how you got into doing what you're doing, how you set up the company?
How we set up the company is a bit of a random story, really. I mean, me and Verity literally sat in my garage drinking coffee. I'd been made redundant. Verity was looking at coming back to work, having taken some time at home to bring up the children. We literally were having a conversation about what we were both going to do, and suddenly had the eureka moment of let's just start a business like you do. And it looked very different when we first started, but I mean it's naturally progressed, and
of course,
we've become the company that we are today. So 3 years later.
Yeah, so it's like social media, something you've always done or something you've always been interested in and then turned it into a training kind of company?
It's something that I've always been interested in, but no, my background is actually nursing, strangely enough. Then when I left nursing, I went into training and coaching and mentoring. So kind of a lot of what I did was for a national training provider. So that's kind of my background. Verity is more kind of the social media and marketing background, and we've kind of brought the two skills together, really.
Fab. So, okay, well, I know you've got some slides that you want to share with us. Do you want us to go into them now? I know we've had a couple of little technical faults, so I'm going to operate the slide. So, you let me know if that's what you want to do, and I will.
Yeah, that's fab. I mean, you can pull the first slide up, because really it's just about kind of looking at why you would use Instagram for your business, really. A lot of people kind of think of Instagram as a selfie platform, you know, something that is used to kind of take photos of kind of and selfies of where you are, what you're doing, what you're having for lunch, that sort of thing. But it really has turned over the last few years into a real business platform. So, and absolutely. You know, there's a huge audience out there that is available to businesses if they get their Instagram activity right. So, I mean, this first slide just kind of looks at, you know, you've got 500 million daily active users on Instagram. Now, don't get me wrong, that doesn't mean that 500 million people are going to see your post every day, because they're not. But it is a huge.
What do you mean? What do you mean?
I'm sure they do your post.
Disappointing.
But I mean, there's a huge potential out there to get your business seen by people not only that you meet in your day-to-day kind of business activity, but also by people that you may never actually have the opportunity to meet face-to-face. So, you know, Instagram gives you that great opportunity, and 25 million businesses have taken up that opportunity. 25 million businesses have got profiles on Instagram and are getting their name and their brand out there. So, and 80% of those Instagram users actually follow a business brand. So
isn't that amazing? What I find amazing about Instagram is, you know, it's a brilliant tool for strengthening your brand. You know what you do, because your customers will, you know, your kind of super customers will keep watching you, you know, keep following you and seeing what you're doing and engaging with you. But you can not only do that, you can go out and get some new ones as well. I think it's ace as well.
Absolutely. I mean, it's a great platform for really showcasing your kind of either product or service. And it's great for service-based products as it is for kind of, you know, product-based businesses. So,
absolutely.
You know, this next slide really just shows you how many people that use Instagram actually use it and actually have it, you know, Instagram actually influences their buying decisions. So they actually make a decision about buying a product or a service based on what they've seen on an Instagram profile. So it's not just about people looking at the pretty pictures, which, you know, are a really important factor in Instagram, but it does actually help with that decision-making process. And, you know, it actually helps with people researching products as well and services. So a bit like people would go onto Google to look at a product or a service and research, they will also use Instagram in the same way.
Absolutely. I'm a sucker for that as well. I've actually bought something from something that I saw, you know, an ad that came up on Instagram as well. I'm one of those people. I bought this pen. I don't know if Dom's got me on screen now. But
yes, you're on screen.
There is no shame in being one of those people. It actually proves that it works, Neil, to be fair.
So, absolutely. You want next slide?
No, you can leave it as it is for a minute. Thank you.
Okay.
But obviously, to make Instagram work, the first thing you need to do really is to get your profile set up right. A bit like any other social media platform, whilst your Instagram profile maybe isn't as big as something like a LinkedIn profile, you haven't got the opportunity to include quite so much information. It does mean that the information that you include in there is actually really important, that you need to get it right. So first of all, my first big tip is, no matter whether you're a product or a service, set up a business page. So don't get caught in the trap of using a personal profile to promote a business brand. And my reason for saying that is that once you get a business page, you get access to insights. Insights is your analytics that you'll be able to look at to enable you to start planning when to post, what to post, how to post, and who's seeing it and who's engaging with it and who's interacting with it. So that is my biggest tip really, is to set up your business profile rather than a personal profile.
Yeah, absolutely agree. Yeah.
And when you do set up that business profile, you'll now get two options. You can either set it up as a creator profile or as a business profile. My suggestion would be that unless you are a top influencer or you have an affiliation to a number of other businesses or products or services, then go for the business profile rather than the creator profile.
Okay.
The only additional benefits that you get as a creator profile is that you can tag branded content. So if you're kind of selling items from different retail outlets and things like that you're sponsoring, then you can tag those branded content and you can filter your direct messages. So unless those two things are really important to you, then just go for a business profile. Okay.
Right. Cool.
When you're creating your bio, you've got a limit of 150 characters. There's nothing that makes me cringe more than seeing a business profile that has got an empty bio. Okay. Tell people what it is that your business does in that bio.
Which is quite tough, isn't it, to get the messages across in just 150 characters.
Can be really tough. Yeah, it is a small bio. So make the most of it. Think about your keywords. Now, your bio on Instagram actually isn't discoverable in search. So the keywords that you use in your bio aren't going to improve your ranking in the search criteria. But
that's interesting. That's a really good tip. Because I guess some people would put that, would think that's the case and, put some words in that they don't really want in there.
Yeah, they would. Absolutely. So you can actually make the most of your bio on Instagram because it doesn't need to read like a list of keywords. And a lot of people humorous bios go down quite well on Instagram. People like to have a little bit of a giggle. People like to see the personal side of the people that are running the business. So a humorous bio goes down quite well. But my one big tip for your bio is if you've got a branded hashtag, so for example, hashtag Delegate Wranglers, include that hashtag in your bio because it is now a clickable link.
Oh, is that right? I didn't know that.
Yeah. So what that means is
hashtag,
when people are looking at your bio, they can now click on that hashtag and it will take them through to the public page for that hashtag. So it's another way that people can actually see your content quite easily and content that your followers are generating using that hashtag.
That's a brilliant tip. Absolutely brilliant tip. I'm gonna literally come off this show and change something on mine. If I can, God knows what I'm gonna leave out. That's the hardest thing, but yeah.
So yeah,
actually, Sophia answered the question. I think Sophia's just asked, which is, should you hashtag words in your bio? Clearly, yes.
Yes, absolutely. If you've got hashtags that are really relevant to your industry and that you want people to be looking at because you post under that hashtag regularly, then absolutely. And a real good example is your own branded hashtag. So we've got. Why did I
have to have a company name that's got about 50 letters? Gonna take up half me flipping thing.
It's only a little bit shorter than your LinkedIn profile name.
Oh, here we go.
Here we go. Going back to LinkedIn. Have you changed that yet, Neil?
No.
The other tip for your bio is to make sure that you select the right business category. So when you set up your business profile, you get the option of choosing your business category. Make sure you select the right one because it shows in your bio, but it actually doesn't use any of your 150 characters. So it's a really good way of showing people what you do without having to include those characters in your bio. So it gives you a few extra characters then to play around with.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yes.
Good.
Yes.
You can include a link to your website. Absolutely include a link to your website. But if you've got more than one link that you would like to put in your bio, you can't do it directly in Instagram. But there are a number of apps that are available. I mean, we use an app called Linktree. Yeah. And what Linktree does is that enables you to include 5, 6, 7, 8, however many website URLs you want to include in your Instagram bio. And the Instagram bio will show one link, but when they click on it, it will actually open up your link tree. So you can have as many links as you like. So you can link people to your LinkedIn page. If you're running a particular event and you've got an Eventbrite page, you can link them to that. If you're running a particular, if you've got some particular special offers on your website, you can link them to your special offers page. So there's lots of options there for people to be able to get directly where you want them to go through your bio.
We use them. We use Linktree on one, and we use Campsite on another one. But they're really useful. I mean, alternatively, you could create a page on your website and link to that, I guess. But I think with those Linktree ones, it just looks a bit neater because it's like mobile friendly. It looks great when you open it up.
Absolutely, yeah, and you don't need to have any.
It's really easy as well.
Yeah, you
it's
don't
super
need
easy to do. You don't have to mess around.
Pages
Yeah.
and
exactly.
I like nice and easy, Neil. We like easy.
Me too. Hey, I'm your mate. Definitely.
And then the last one is you can use emojis in your LinkedIn bio, in your Instagram bio. Sorry. So you
can use them, but should you?
It adds a bit of a fun element to your bio. So it depends on the kind of the sort of business that you're on. Depends what sort of image you want to get across. It depends on the culture of the business. So I think that's a personal decision, really, if I'm honest, Dom.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong with it, but just be cautious, maybe, of the emojis that you would use. Is my advice.
Yeah. Things like arrows are quite good. I think we've used arrows a little bit, to point to something or to like put it as like a kind of like a bullet point almost as well.
Yeah, absolutely.
Things like that.
Make great bullet points, to be fair.
Yeah, they do. Yeah. Cool.
Your profile.
Just so people know, I've put a Linktree on the screen right now. It's linktr.ee. Linktr.ee. There's a whole lot of information about Linktree that's up on your screens right now. Sorry, Alison, carry on.
No, that's fine. Thank you. When we're talking about your profile picture, if you have set up a business profile, it is recommended that you use your logo as your profile picture. And basically that helps with brand recognition above anything else. My one kind of time that probably wouldn't be relevant would be if you're maybe a freelance kind of graphic designer or a freelance photographer who actually hasn't got a company logo as such and just goes by your own name. Then ultimately, a personal profile picture would be fine. But if you have got a brand and you have got a logo, then the logo should be your profile picture. And my biggest tip here, make sure it fits.
It's round. It's round as well, isn't it? It's not square.
It is round. The image size is actually recommended as 110 by 110 pixels to optimize the size of the image for the actual profile picture for the frame that you're given. However, it is recommended that you use a slightly bigger image to optimize the resolution for use on the web. Okay, so
great.
And like I say, there is nothing worse than a logo that doesn't fit. So if your image is too big, then there are apps and websites that you can use to crop your image down. So just try and make sure that your image actually fits into that template that you're given, into that frame that you're given.
I recommend Canva. Canva, you can do it in Canva. They have round round templates. You can just drop it in. It's really easy to use.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm just going to jump in with a question, which you might come on to in a minute anyway, because we haven't really got into posts yet. But Rob Borenfish says, the thing I'm struggling with is how to brand posts. Should you put a logo on each post? Should it follow a theme, i.e. use your brand colors throughout? I think it's good to use branding and raises your brand recognition as you reach others that may not be following you through hashtags, but others don't believe this is a good look. And that's what I struggle with.
Okay, we are going to cover that in the next section.
Sorry, jump the gun. We'll come back to that.
In fact,
it's a great question.
The next couple of sections really are going to talk all about kind of your posts that you put out and how to brand those. So yeah, if you can just hold fire a second, we'll come to that in a minute if that's okay.
Yeah,
fab.
My last thing on your bio, on your profile, very quickly, is about the name. And this is going to sound really obvious, but use a name that people will recognize. People will have probably come across you maybe or potentially come across you on another social media platform, or they might have come across you when you're out networking, or they might have come across you at an event. And to be able to find you on Instagram, they will probably search for you by name. So either personally or by company name. So you get 30 characters for your name. So my one big tip for this would be that your name is discoverable through search on Instagram. So if you want to be found, for example, for maybe events or conferences or weddings, use that keyword after your name. So, for example, we are IMC Pro Solution, or we're the girls in pink, but after that, it's got social media. So that when people search Instagram for social media, because it's included in our name, we will come up as an account that is relevant to social media in the search.
Good idea. Yeah.
So that is where your keyword is discoverable using the search facility in Instagram. So it's a great place to put your keywords.
Fantastic. Okay. Cool.
Right. So once you've got your profile set up, you now need to go on to create an amazing grid. Okay, so your grid is basically your shop window. Your grid is what is going to get people to want to look further into your profile. Your grid is what is going to entice people in. So you need to get your grid right. And there are quite a lot of options around your grid. And our recommendation is to use a theme. And there's hundreds of themes available. It's pretty much endless. But I mean, I have got a couple of slides here that just show you kind of my 6 almost favorite themes, if you like, for Instagram. So you've got these first 3 here that you can see on the screen. So the first one is just called a tiles grid. The second one is a rose grid. And just to be really unique, the third one is line in the middle grid. So these are kind of 3 options for creating a themed grid, if you like, on your Instagram profile.
Can I just jump in there?
Yeah.
Your Verity, I said she's very fussy about grids on the chat.
I am very fussy about grids. I am the kind of person that hates to see a messy grid on Instagram.
Oh God, don't look at the Delegate Wranglers grid.
Whilst
we're trying.
Absolutely, and as long as you're trying, do you know what? That's better than not trying at all, to be fair. So
I've got a question on this for you, Verity.
Yeah.
Alison. So the checkerboard one, the first one on the left.
Yeah.
Basically, that's probably the easiest to maintain, I guess, because you can just do one at a time, and it will always look like a checkerboard, more or less.
More or less.
Whereas the other ones, you have to post in 3s, really, otherwise it looks a mess. Is that correct? Is that my understanding?
Well,
do I have to post like 3 kind of fairly consecutive posts to make it look like that, and then leave it for a week?
For all 3 of these, you really need to post in 3s. Okay.
Okay, right.
The reason for that is because when you post on Instagram, Instagram doesn't create a new line. What Instagram does is it shifts everything right 1 box.
Yeah.
Okay, so each time you post, everything will shift right. So if you look at that first image of the tiles, the next post you post will actually replace the top left image that you can see on that screen.
Yeah.
Everything then moves right. So it will no longer look like a tile grid until you get to the 3rd post. Once you get to the 3rd post, everything will all become back into alignment and it will become a tiled grid again.
I'm just going to put mine up because I set myself this challenge. I've done this on my personal profile a couple of years ago, but I routinely posted in 3s there, and I've actually done this with my. It's not a great image because it's coming off my phone, but I've done this with my Instagram. So we get full photos posted in. It's still effectively a grid, but we post in 3, 6s, or 9s. To post big images of events that we're working on, big stuff that we're doing, little promo snips. But my God, it's really hard to maintain.
Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
That is the thing with
very tough.
Having this sort of theme with Instagram. It is difficult to maintain because you might find that you've got a great post that you want to put out, but it actually doesn't fit with your grid or your row or your line down the middle because it's actually an image and you now need something with text in it to make it fit. So it does take quite a bit of planning to use these sorts of themes. So, but they look really great. Don't get me wrong. They look amazing if you catch them at the right time at the end of post 3. Now, the second slide that you see here is slightly more manageable grids. Okay, so the first one has got a filter applied to every photo, and it's the same filter that's been applied to every photo within the Instagram app. So when you upload an image in Instagram, you can apply filters that they provide you within the app. And this has just had like a brown coloured filter applied to it. So it gives everything a bit of an earthy, a bit of a natural feel, because that's the brand that's associated with that business. The middle grid is what they call a colour splash grid. And I actually really like this grid. And it's quite a clever little editing tool that's used in an app that I'm going to talk about in a minute. But basically what it does is any photo that you upload, it turns into black and white, and you can then just select the part of the image that you want to see the original colour. So it allows you to just have a splash of colour in every image.
Drop the colour in there. Yeah.
And then the one on the right is basically every photo in black and white. You've got other options. You can put a white frame around every photo. You could put a black frame around every photo. You can pick a colour theme, and you can have an item of that colour in every photo or in every image. So there are lots of kind of ways to theme your grid.
The thing is to be consistent. To be consistent in it, isn't it?
Well, it is, but I'm going to jump in and ask, because I think it's kind of linked to the consistency, because Alex asked, what do the algorithms actually like, though? And that's a really important one. It's all very well us sitting here saying, yeah, post in threes, but actually do the algorithms like that? Because you are effectively spamming other people's Instagram feed with 3 at a time or 6 at a time. Okay.
The algorithms will look at engagement. So it will look at how consistently you post, but not only how consistently you post, but it will judge the quality of those posts based on the amount of engagement that you get. So if you're posting 3 Instagram posts a day, as provided they are getting engagement, and from that we mean either likes, comments, or shares, then Instagram will look positively on the 3 posts that you're posting out every day. If you're posting 3 posts out a day that absolutely nobody is engaging with, then the algorithms will pick that up, and your post won't actually rank very highly in people's news feeds. So
the other thing that I found out recently, Alison, as well, you may talk about it in a second, was one of the things that they rank the algorithms on is the time on platform as well. So if you've got users who are staying on for a particular length of time looking at that photo, and what can kind of help that is when you do, I'm sure you're going to talk about carousels, when you have more than 1 photo on each picture, you know, because people are going to stay on those longer and they're going to get ranked better. That's my understanding of it. Is that right?
Yes, absolutely. Yeah, and the same goes for video as well, because you can upload video to your news feed as an image rather than just a still photo or a still image. So the same applies for that. It's the duration of time that they spend looking at that video.
Fantastic. What we'll try and do is we'll try and put some in the wrap up, guys, at the end of the show, or tonight, later on today. We'll try and put some links to some apps that can help you create some of these things as well.
Yeah, definitely.
Between us, Alison,
really
and
Tom,
we'll do that.
Absolutely.
I think let's just take a break from that for a minute, Neil. Have we got any questions or comments that you've seen coming in on YouTube, on Facebook, that we need to get to?
Facebook, I've seen a few on Facebook. Michelle Flynn said, have you noticed that you get more engagement with the right grid? So that's a question for you, Alison. Do you think you definitely get more engagement when you've got a nice looking grid? Because I have also heard some people say, oh, well, somebody who's created a really nice grid is just wanting it to look pretty. Other people like it to look varied and to change it up with a mixture of, you know, statements and pictures and videos, and that gets engagement because it's different all the time. So is there any hard and fast rules about it? Have you noticed that you know, having a nice grid makes a difference?
A pretty grid won't get you won't make a huge difference on engagement. The grid will encourage people to look at the posts. So the grid is important, but also the captions that you use with those images that you put in that grid are as important. So absolutely, the grid is like the first impression. You know, it's what people see. bearing in mind on a mobile, they'll generally only see the first 6 images when they actually open up your profile and it lands on their screen. So they're not seeing your whole grid, they'll see the top 6.
Yes. Yeah.
It will entice people in, but it won't necessarily encourage engagement if the captions that you use with your images aren't the value to that reader.
Yeah, and I'm sure you're going to talk about captions and things in a minute, I guess.
Yes. Let me just jump over. I'm just going to check because we had a couple of comments come in on LinkedIn as well. I just want to see if we had any questions. There were a few hellos that I missed out from earlier. Natasha Leao, Amanda Strevens, nice to see you. Kathy Joyce, Karen Patton is watching on LinkedIn. Karen actually said that we're replacing Ant and Dec for sure, although I was a little bit disappointed then to see that Emma Armstrong followed it up with and Dick and Dom. Well, I know that I'm Dom, so... and Kathy Kendry said I'm in sunny Ellesmere Port, and amusingly LinkedIn said C translation because I think it was trying to work out where Ellesmere Port was. I don't think there's any questions actually there, sorry. Not far from you at all. No. And then I saw on LinkedIn, I saw on Facebook, Matthew Humphrey said, I'd never really considered the overall impact of the grid. Visually, grids look amazing. If you're consistent with it, grids look brilliant. And I've seen some amazing... It's really hard, but I've seen some amazing execution of it. Yeah, I saw a guy a couple of years ago who took photos of aeroplanes as he was flying around the world. It was just... Look, his whole feed was beautiful. Amazing.
Yeah. And like I say, it is really, it's that kind of, it's almost that introduction to your business. It's that kind of that first impression that people get. So it's not the be all and end all of an Instagram account, and it's not the be all and end all of engagement, but it's the starting point really.
One last question about grids and pictures in general. Where do you stand on some people love putting a statement, you know, today's a great day or whatever, that kind of thing. Do you think they work better than photographs? Is it good to have a mix? Do you try and avoid them? Because, a couple of years ago, the world went crazy for these things and they were just all over Instagram. I see them less and less now, but I still see them. So any thoughts on that, Alison?
My thoughts would be, it depends on your industry and your target audience, basically.
Okay.
What you post on your Instagram account is very dependent on who you're trying to target and the industry that you work in. And if both of those lend themselves well to motivational quotes and inspirational quotes placed on Instagram as images, then absolutely use them. People do love them. There are people out there who love a motivational quote, and it really does inspire them to then look in and read the post and see what that person's got to say. Some people look at them and think, oh, not another motivational quote, and we'll scroll past.
That one's me.
But, there are other ways of using text in an Instagram image as well. So, you could include customer testimonials. So it doesn't have to be a motivational quote, but that text could be a testimonial from a customer about their experience with you. It could be some text around a special offer that you're running or your event.
Or as part of a carousel. Part of a carousel of
absolutely.
pictures. Could be in the middle of it.
Yeah, definitely. So there's lots of options for using text as images. So we often have a lot of customers come to us and say, but I haven't got anything to take photos of, so I can't use Instagram. And we say, well, actually you can, because your images don't have to be photos of a product. Your images can be created using either text or graphics from other aspects of your business. So there are lots of opportunities. Right. The other thing I would also say is that each email address can have 5 Instagram accounts attached to it. So if
I never knew that.
Yeah, if you've got quite a large business, so for example, if you run a big hotel complex, for example, that does weddings, conferences, spas, then you might want to set up separate Instagram accounts. It might make it easier to create your theme and to stay on brand with a particular aspect of your business rather than trying to get everything that you do into one Instagram grid. and make it
Got
work.
you. Yeah.
Does
Yeah.
that make sense?
Well, great. That's a great tip. Yeah, I didn't know that. I thought they all had to be separate to each one. That's
No,
great.
no, not at all. And you can then access them all through one account on your mobile phone. You can link them all together and access them all on your mobile, so you don't have to keep logging in and out to access your different accounts. So
yeah,
just
going to jump in there. There's a quick question from Stephanie. It's basically kind of what we just spoke about. What are your thoughts on engagements with posts that have text? Been told it doesn't work as well, but I had mixed results when trialing it. So I think it's exactly what you said just a second ago, really, Alison.
Yeah, it absolutely
it depends on your industry.
Yeah, and your target audience, who you're targeting, and whether it's something that they enjoy looking at. Now we talked about kind of just very quickly planning your grid and working it out. There's an app called the Preview app, and again, we can give I can give you the details.
We'll get the link.
But basically, what the Preview app is, it mirrors what your Instagram grid will look like when you post. So what you can actually do is you can create your Instagram posts in the Preview app. It'll allow you to click and drag them around so that you can make sure it all fits in with your theme and it's all going to work and the colours look right before you actually post it onto Instagram.
That's a really handy tip because I've never thought of actually previewing stuff before you post it. For cutting things up, and you've probably got a suggestion on this, but for cutting pictures up, and I replied to this in the in Facebook just now, I use an app called Pic Split, PIC Split, which allows you to take a photo. You can place it within a grid of 2, 3, or 6. 1 by 3, 2 by 3, or 3 by 3, and then it cuts an image basically into the 9 images that the 3, 6, or 9 images that we'd need to post in the grid. That's really handy. I use it an awful lot.
Yeah.
And that theme is actually called a Jigsaw theme.
Okay.
The one tip I would give for the Jigsaw theme is to make sure your images still make sense on their own. Because
mine never do. If I've got a photo of Ed wearing his Stream T-shirt from behind, at the bottom left of him is just going to say and that's all you get.
Yeah.
The only reason they say that is because obviously if they pick up that image just through their newsfeed rather than going to your profile, that image might not actually mean anything to them. Therefore, they might not delve in to look at the caption.
I mean, again, whether it's right or wrong, the first words that I use when I'm posting a grid photo, the first words I use are pick one of 3, full picture on profile. It's the first thing I put on there, and I put that on all of them.
Yeah.
And that does seem to work, and I do tend to get engagement. I like doing it.
Yeah, absolutely. And they're a great profile. They're a great grid to look at when you look at them. Brilliant. They are really good to look at. So really quite clever, but take a lot of planning, if I'm honest.
Yes.
To get it right.
Cool.
The other thing is using stock photos. Now, obviously, we're trying to get your brand across, your character across, your personality across on LinkedIn. But if you are an industry where you haven't got a lot of photos actually of either you or your business or things happening within your business, then there is the option to use stock photos. Mixed results for them, again, depending on your industry, depending on your target market. And my biggest tip would be make sure that they are free to use. Make sure that you have, you check the usage rights before you start plastering them all over your social media. But stock photos are an option.
Do you let me phrase this. Do you advise using stock photos?
We do use them for some industries, yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
We use them. Yeah.
Yeah. Now, for things like events industry, it's probably not necessary because I would imagine there are an abundance of photos available that could be used. But for the instance, there are some industries that don't lend themselves to having their own photos. Accountants, for example, legal consultants, where it's quite difficult for people to get photos of them doing what they do. And stock photos are quite useful for those clients.
Yeah.
Okay.
Absolutely.
So to create these images, there are a number of different options. You can just take a photo and upload it into the app on Instagram, and there are a few editing tools available to you in the app You can add some filters, you can crop and things like that. But it is quite limited, but there is that option. But we would always recommend that you do brand your images on a business page in some way. And how you choose to do that is your personal choice, and a bit trial and error, really. See what works, see what engages your audience, and that's where your insights will come into play. But there are a couple of ways that you can do it. One way is to include your logo on every image, and that is an option. It can sometimes get a little bit tricky in terms of formatting and things if your logo doesn't quite work with the image that you want to use and things like that. So it can need a little bit of tweaking and a bit of playing around with if you're going to use your logo every time. Another option that you can see here on the screen is kind of using a border that reflects your brand colors. So that's another option of kind of branding those images so that they show, you know, the brand within your business. You could create you know, a full color block border around an image if you wanted to, and use that on your Instagram profile. You could just include like we talked about splash of color earlier, you could include just something within that image that is your brand colors every time. If you've got a logo where you can maybe remove the company name and just keep the small image, that can sometimes work. So there are a number of options. But we've done
lots with branded video for clients on Instagram, where we've created a kind of custom intro graphic. Even on a 15-second clip, you can do something really quite cool and then put it in a branded. You can place the video into a branded frame. You can do some nice animations around the outside of it, and it looked really, really cool. But again, it's just a consistency thing, because it's one of those things. Once you've started going down that route, you have to keep going with it. It's like the grid. It looks really good, but that's the only option now for me is to post in 3. So it's just, you've got to keep it going.
I think the most important thing as well, I think it's really important to stress as well, guys, that if you do put your logos on there, you know, if people share them, so you know, they may as well share them and see your logo.
Yes, absolutely.
You know, that's
definitely
the reason for it.
Really good point. Yeah, it is a really good way of kind of getting your name out there without having to do too much work yourself. Especially if you,
subtle as well.
Yeah, if you build up those raving fans that will share your posts everywhere, then it's a great way to get your name out to a wider audience. Yeah, definitely.
Fantastic.
Options for creating, we've got Canva that Neil mentioned earlier. Canva is a great online kind of app that you can use to create images.
Love Canva.
You're
Canva.
a massive fan of Canva, aren't you, Neil?
Right. Can I just tell you, it's something like 12. I mean, you can get a free version, but for $12 a month, you get a version that allows you to resize an image.
It does.
And when I say that, I mean, you can just take an image that is for Facebook, then you can click on resize, and it'll make a copy of it in an Instagram post, like, or as a story or whatever. It's just unbelievably time saving, flexible. You can drop videos in.
Yeah,
it's amazing. Honestly, guys, I love it.
I'm
not on commission for them. I wish it was.
I've just put it up on the screen. I don't use Canva. We're Photoshop users, so we do everything ourselves. However, Canva's up on the screen. It's an amazing. If you don't have access to Photoshop, if you don't have access to graphic designer, it's incredible. So powerful. And it's really, really cheap.
Yeah, and I mean, some of the templates they provide with you are so easy to engage with. You know, you can just drag and drop your own images in there, change the text around, change the color, and there you go. You've got an image that you can put out.
Drop in like GIFs, and it's just amazing. Just do so many things with it, guys. So I totally recommend it.
We talk about it frequently, don't we, Neil?
Sorry.
We talk about it frequently, don't we?
All the time. I crap on about it to Dom all the time.
The other way that it's kind of nice and time saving is that if you do decide on a theme and you do decide on sort of some templates or whatever, you can create those templates in Canva and save them in a folder that, you know, that you can then just go back to and just change the content of the template rather than recreating it every time. So it's there. It's you know, it is a great time saving way of producing some nice graphics for social media.
Really professional looking things.
Absolutely. Although for balance, Chris Eyre is absolutely right. The other one that is worth considering, and I'm just going to get it up on the screen now, is I've left Alison on the screen. Hang on one moment. is Adobe Spark.
Yeah.
Adobe Spark is in. Oh, it's asking me to do all sorts of stuff here. Oh, I can't show you it. If you look up Adobe Spark, it's not exactly the same as Canva. It's probably a little bit more geared to doing a lot more animation and video than Canva is. But it's a really, really powerful tool. Again, I think it's only about 9 or 10 quid a month. It's really not that expensive. And it's just, you got the option then. You can use Canva probably more for static images, Spark perhaps more for animated type stuff.
Absolutely, yeah. And I mean, you know, if you are trying to do something on the go as well, I mean, there's things like Pixlr and InShot that are kind of mobile apps that you can download.
InShot, yeah, I use that as well.
So yeah, and that gives you kind of some editing tools in there as well. You can create collages and things within the apps. You can you can resize and crop and filter and stuff like that. So they're quite nice ones if you're trying to do stuff just quite quickly on the go. Obviously, you've mentioned.
Neil, sorry, can you just make a note to have a chat with Alex Soam afterwards, because she's just.
I saw that. Yeah,
you did. Okay, fine.
Yeah.
Wait, Alex, we'll take that up with you afterwards, please.
Sorry, Alison, carry on. Sorry.
Okay. And then you've obviously also mentioned kind of Photoshop. There's also Adobe Illustrator. So there are creative cloud solutions that are available out there. For somebody who's never used them before, that probably a little bit of time needed investing into kind of learning.
The only reason we've got them is because of the video side. We use Premiere Pro, we use After Effects, so we've got those as part of the Creative Cloud suite. And absolutely. I know Illustrator better than I know Photoshop, but we have access to all of those. It doesn't make sense then to have others as well. For us.
Definitely. But if you've
it's important to stress as well, isn't it, that you know, these are great for the likes of us who you know, are not experts in that field, but it doesn't replace, like, you know, an expert graphic designer who can lay something to page brilliantly for you. But these are just kind of on the go solutions if you need something quick and easy, you know, and on the go. They're really easy.
Definitely. And again, if you do decide to use the preview app to plan your grid, there's editing facility in there as well that will allow you to edit your photos before you actually kind of, you know, create your grid. So that's another option as well.
Fab.
Obviously, when we talk about images and creating grid, we're not forgetting video. Video is a powerful tool to use on any social media platform, obviously. And video can be posted within your newsfeed on Instagram. You can post up to 120 seconds in your newsfeed. So you get 2 minutes video that you can post to your newsfeed. If you want to post videos that are longer than 2 minutes, you can actually post them to IGTV, which is kind of Instagram's video channel, if you like.
Have they recently changed that length of newsfeed?
Sorry?
Have they recently changed the length of newsfeed? Because I thought videos could only be a minute on Instagram.
Yeah, they have recently changed it. Yeah.
Okay.
But it can only be, it's got to be 61 seconds to be on IGTV, isn't it, Alison? Is that right?
No, now it's more than 15 seconds to be on.
More than 15, okay, right.
Okay.
Up to the maximum length for most accounts to post to IGTV is 10 minutes.
Right.
Unless you're like a big influencer or a very important celebrity, and then you get up to an hour to post on IGTV. But your normal user will get anything up to 10 minutes to post on IGTV. So you can put your longer videos on there. Now, as far as the rankings are concerned, Instagram doesn't favour video over photo or vice versa. They are both treated equally in terms of how they rank them in people's news feeds. What does determine rank is how engaging that video or that image is. So how many likes, comments and shares it gets and views for your videos. So you can post video, you can post still image. That's not what actually you know, will affect your ranking on Instagram. So if you're not keen on video or you don't like producing video, you can go with the still image. If you prefer video, then go all out and post video on your platform. It's entirely a personal choice, but a mixture of the two.
Thoughts? Well, any thoughts on the size of the video, the format? You know, whether it needs to be square or, you know, letterbox or. Does it put people off, you know?
For Instagram, ideally, square is the shape to go, because it will fit properly in your newsfeed then. Again, ideally, if you can brand your video on Instagram so that it fits in with the still images that you're using.
Yeah.
And really, I would probably say up to a minute really for a video on a news feed is going to keep people's interest.
Keep people
yeah.
And also I think if you're gonna, isn't it right, Alison, that if you go into if you want it to be square, you need to be holding your phone like in the normal way, like this, when you're filming things rather than sideways on.
Yeah.
In terms of it's generally going to look better.
Yeah.
Just so when you're recording things, guys, you know, sideways on, it's not going to look good on Instagram. Hold it straight up. Sorry for teaching people to suck eggs there, but
that's fine.
Just thought I'd mention it.
That's fine. And then in terms of engagement rates, now the average engagement rate across all industries is actually 1.6% per post.
Right.
So that's your average engagement rate. For the hotel and resorts industry, it's very slightly higher than the average, which is 1.73%. So that's kind of your target for your engagement rate. There is a way that you can calculate your own engagement rates for posts. Unfortunately, Instagram doesn't just tell you what your engagement rate is. It would be nice if they did, but it doesn't.
Yeah.
Now you can go to a website called flanks.com, and they do have an Instagram engagement calculator. You can use it for free, and basically you can go in, you type the Instagram page name, and it will calculate the engagement rate of that page.
Oh, wow.
Sorry, Alison. What's the website?
It's Flanks, so it's PHLANX. .com. Yeah.
I'm going to get that onto the screen.
Fantastic.
One moment.
That's a really useful one for, I guess, for judging, you know, what type of post worked and what didn't.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that
there we go.
engagement is either going to be a like, a comment, or a share, or a video view. So yeah, you can see there in the middle of the screen, it's got the engagement calculator, and you literally would just type in the Instagram. It takes a couple of minutes to work it out, but eventually it comes back to you with an engagement rate.
Yeah.
Right.
Okay.
Cool. Really cool.
Okay.
I'm aware that we're kind of quite behind time, so let's.
Sorry.
Yeah. No, it's me. It's
my guessing too much.
Let's blame Dom. Let's blame Dom.
Okay. Hashtags. We'll go on to hashtags. So if you can give me the next slide, if you wouldn't mind.
Yeah, of course. Yep.
You can post up to 30 hashtags in every Instagram post, but we wouldn't recommend it. Too many hashtags in an Instagram post is considered spammy, and that does get picked up by the Instagram algorithms. So we would recommend up to 5 hashtags on every Instagram post.
When you say up to, are you saying 5? You know, do 5 or up to 5? You know, what's your opinion on that?
It depends on what the post is really, and how many relevant hashtags you can come up with. Don't put a hashtag in there just for the sake of putting 5 hashtags out. If you can't think or find a relevant hashtag, then you're better off not using one than putting something in that isn't relevant. Because if you put an irrelevant hashtag in, it's not going to garner the engagement you're looking for, because once people get to read your post, they're going to realise it actually wasn't what they were interested in. So they're not going to engage in a way. Yeah?
Yeah.
So Instagram.
If you put in Kanye West or something.
Yeah, absolutely.
Kanye West fans are going to click on it and they're not going to. Yeah, I get you.
So Instagram puts your hashtags into categories. So you can see the list of them here, and I'll share this. Neil, you can kind of share the slides or whatever if you want to afterwards. So
this would be really useful for people.
Yeah. But ultimately, what you want to try and find is a type of hashtag that is going to benefit your business. Okay, so obviously, if you're, I don't know, say an events venue, then hashtag event profs is going to ensure that those posts get seen by anybody, any event professionals that are looking for venues.
All the time.
Absolutely. And that's classed as a community hashtag. because what they see is that those event profs are actually a community of people on Instagram that all want to follow that same type of content. Location
hashtags. Go on. Sorry.
I was going to say, location hashtags are always quite good as well for kind of events industries, hotel industries, that sort of thing. Because people potentially will search for venues and things by location. So using a location hashtag will get your post seen on that location's public page as well as on your newsfeed. So the more places you can get your post to appear, the better. Because the more visibility it will get then. National days are always a good one as well, just because of the level of engagement that they get, particularly if you can get quite a nice image going out with them. Like, I don't know, National Donut Day was not long ago. So, you know, if you've got your office team sat scoffing donuts, then that can be quite a nice
Did I miss that donut day?
Well, no, it's National Ice
Never
Cream
got the memo.
this month, Neil.
National Donut Day every day in your house, isn't it, Neil?
I wish. Tell you what, I wish. I'm on a diet. I wish.
It's quite common on Instagram to put your hashtags at the end of a post rather than kind of trying to embed them into your post. Quite a lot of people will include them at the end of the post, and that's fine. The only thing I would say is that Instagram don't recognize line breaks. So if you want to put some line breaks in to break up your caption and your hashtags, then either use a bullet point or a full stop or a dash or something each time you press enter on the keyboard, and that will recognize that there's a line break there for Instagram. So that's how you can separate out your text on your Instagram caption, just make it a bit easier to read.
I've got a quick question about hashtag. Very, very quick one. So we've been using one that we created called We Mean Business for a while. Is there any way, you know, like starting your own, how you can grow that? You know, shameless plug here, guys. If everybody could, like, you know, hashtag We Mean Business, you know, we could get that going for the Delegate Wranglers, and you know, when we're getting back to business again, you know, we're trying to use it as a kind of, you know, a statement really. Is there any tips on growing your own hashtag? Is it just a matter of using it and encouraging people to use it and just let it grow organically?
Put it in your bio. If you haven't already got it in your bio, put it in your bio as a clickable link. As you've just said, encourage your followers to use it. And user-generated content is some of the best content, because obviously there's nothing better than somebody else shouting about what you do. Because it is just testament to, you know, how good or you know, how pleased they were with the service or the business that they received from you. Include it on, if you can, get it on your website. You know, just visibility and encouraging other people to use it, and then include it in every post that you put out on Instagram. And if you're using it across platforms, then obviously put it on every post that you put out across platforms as well.
Great. Cool.
But yeah, that is the best way. I'm trying to kind of skim through because I'm conscious of,
I know we've got to be done by 12:30 because I know Dom's got an appointment.
That's fine.
Dom's sweating there. Start the car, Dom. Start the car, man.
The difficulty is that we're getting really lovely comments. People are loving this. They're loving the fact that they're getting all these hints, tips and tricks. And I don't want to be the killjoy of the party, but I have to be somewhere. I have to be doing something else at 12:30, bang on the dot. So we have, let's say we've got 10 minutes to get this to wrap up. And there's probably got quite a lot more to go through. So I'm not going to say anymore, Neil. And again, you know, we actually already spoke about doing another one on LinkedIn, because this happened on the LinkedIn show as well, didn't it? There's so much stuff to talk about, and it might be that we just break it up and do another show as well.
Yeah, I mean, we could. I mean, I was going to kind of talk quite a bit about stories, but that is quite a big section on its own. So, I mean, you know, brands on average post 2.5 stories a week. So if you're not using stories, you are missing a trick, you know, and stories really do engage your audience, and they're a great way of getting seen on Instagram. There is such a lot to go through with stories, if I'm honest.
So we maybe part that, so we can get it on another show.
Yeah, and do you know what? I've already seen Mandeep saying, well, you need to do a part 2 show. Why don't we do a part 2 just on Instagram stories?
If that's all right with you, Alison, by the way.
Absolutely, that's fine. That's not a problem at all. Not a problem.
Because already, actually, I've just seen that someone else popped up. Laura Rachel Moore has said, Abbey Instagram engagement is 2.18%, which is great. So thanks for letting me find out how to do this. So
Brilliant.
It's just people going away and being able to do this is really, really useful.
Yeah, absolutely. Let's park stories then. We'll come back to stories in another session, if that's all right, because I don't want to skim through it and people not get kind of, you know, the tip we've been able to give them for everything else just because we're rushing through it. So I think that's a great
Let's do a show on stories like that can be the whole subject, because there is such a lot of things you can do with stories.
Absolutely. So very quickly then, the last thing I'm going to talk about is going live. And you can go live on Instagram now. There is that option, and it's done as a story ultimately. Is the way to go live in Instagram. So according to statistics, 80% of users would rather watch a live video than read a blog. Okay, and I think a lot of that is linked to time. You can quite honestly quickly watch a video in between, or whilst you're making a cup of coffee, or whilst you're having your lunch, whereas reading a blog can often take people a bit more time to do and to digest and things like that. So
to concentrate on.
Absolutely. So live video is a great way of getting engagement from an audience. Now the thing with Instagram is, once you've gone live and you've then finished your broadcast, that live video doesn't appear in your newsfeed or in your stories. It actually disappears from the app.
Right.
However,
I just jump in there. I actually went live on Instagram this morning for the first time ever to try to profile the show, because I thought it seemed appropriate. So it's the first time I'd ever done it. And that happened to me. I thought, oh, it'll stay in my story. And it was gone.
However, you will have the option, once you've finished the video, of sharing a replay to IGTV.
Yeah, I saw that, and I didn't do it stupidly, but because
so
I thought it might not be relevant, you know. Kind of
but that's the one way of kind of keeping your live video then available to viewers to watch later, if you like, a bit like you would do on Facebook. You know, you would post it into your newsfeed or whatever. You can share it as a replay to IGTV. But when you do that, just bear in mind, you cannot trim or edit that video. It goes out raw. And whatever has happened during that video, then gets...
Thank God it didn't get saved. God, that's so bad. I think some people did see it. So, apologies in advance.
If you are live broadcasting, you are limited to 1 hour. So, you know, kind of plan what you're going to say, plan what you want to get across. But it's a great way of getting engagement, because you can receive comments and interact with your audience during a live broadcast on Instagram. You can also invite friends to join you. So you can invite people that are watching your live to actually join you in your live and become part of the show, if you like. So some ideas are that you might want to collaborate with industry leaders on a live on Instagram, go live at an event, maybe do a virtual tour of your premises or your office or your venue or whatever, so that people can get a real feel for what things look like and the culture of the business.
People love behind the scenes, don't they?
Absolutely, behind the scenes footage is great.
I think I am just going to jump in on this one though, because I think it's really important. So what you can't do on Instagram Live is broadcast into it in the same way that you can. That was a really nice sound of you drinking, Neil. What you can't do is broadcast live onto Instagram in the same way that you can on Facebook.
It's pure vodka.
Oh my God, that was awful. Sorry. You can't broadcast live onto Instagram in the same way that you can on Facebook. There are third-party tools out there that claim to enable you to do it, and indeed their claims are true. They can allow you to do it. However, I think there's a service called Yellow Duck, which says we can help you stream live to Instagram and Facebook and LinkedIn and all of them, but it actually breaks the Instagram API terms. And I know of several accounts that have been terminated as a result of using third-party services. So if you're going to go live on Instagram, only go live using your phone, because anything else outside of that is going to get you broken.
Yeah, it is a very basic live tool.
It is coming. Well, I've been informed it might be coming soon as well. So the thing where you can stream like this show on Facebook Live and also on Insta as well at the same time.
Yeah.
But not yet. It's not here yet.
No. And the thing with Instagram, I think, is it, to kind of wrap it up, because I'm conscious of time, is that it takes time, and it does take planning, and it does take consideration, and you do need to think about kind of a bigger picture with Instagram, because your grid is so visible as in its entirety. Every time somebody looks at your profile, it is really about the planning and the consideration and the thought that you give to what you're going to put out on Instagram that will make the biggest difference.
Totally agree. Yeah.
So I think I'll leave it there unless you've got any other questions, and we'll come back to
Well, we've had a million questions. Just there was one quick one I saw from just a quick one from Anika that said, I think it was Anika earlier on, that said, can you schedule Instagram posts? I know the answer to this.
Okay.
Go on, I'll let you answer, Alison.
You can't schedule Instagram directly in Instagram app. However, Instagram is owned by Facebook, and there is something called the Facebook Creator Studio. And if you log into the Creator Studio, provided you've connected your Instagram account to your Facebook account, then you can schedule Instagram posts through the Creator Studio. There are also other external apps that will link into Instagram that you have to pay for, but Creator Studio is free. The only thing you can't schedule in Creator Studio is stories, but you can schedule your newsfeed. So it does help with it.
And there are some as well, some third-party ones where they will schedule it to give you a reminder and kind of pop the image up with the text that so you can just copy and paste it in. So all you have to do is literally, paste it in and stuff like that. So that's probably as near as you can get to it without getting into Creator Studio, which is a little bit more complicated and stuff. Yeah,
it is, absolutely. The other thing that I think we should come back to, which again I've mentioned a couple of times in here, and I've only really just started learning how to use it, but it's highlights. So I think the combination of stories and highlights is the stuff for part 2. Verity in the background, because I know you're watching and pointing out that I'm getting concerned about the time. Yes, you're right. But also need to start thinking about planning the LinkedIn part 2 session as well, because I think we need to do that one.
Yeah. We'll just have you two on a rota every week. All right.
That's fine.
Me and Dom we won't even need to be here, Dom. We'll just...
No, I know. Well, I'm kind of feeling that anyway. But while we are just all still here, let's just put up our own Instagram. So how am I going to do this to get them all on the screen? Let me just
I will also put them in the wrap up as well.
Yeah, okay, let's do that. But I am at StreamIt, StreeEemit. Neil is really Alison is at IMC_girls in pink, and Neil is very simply at the Delegate Wranglers. So go find us all. And I've seen someone in here saying, let's do a follow for follow. Go find all of us, find each other. If I see a follow pop up in the next half hour or so, I will follow you straight back. It will be great to connect. Neil will do the same, and I'm sure Alison will as well.
Absolutely.
Yeah, I will definitely do the same. I am also Alison, that's been fantastic. I mean, I've learned so much there. And so I've got so many apps and things written down that I think what we'll do is if you can fire over as many as you can. And guys, if there's any that you've got, send them to me and we'll put them all in the wrap up as well. It's not just us telling you what was on the show. It's also you guys saying, oh, well, try this and try that as well. So make sure when you see the wrap up posted up later, please add to it with any apps or anything that you guys find useful. We're all learning all the time. So the more we can share, the better.
Absolutely. Couldn't agree more.
Alison, you've been amazing.
Thank you.
And actually, so have the people at home. So have the people watching at home, because we've got people watching on LinkedIn. We've got people watching on YouTube. We've had a consistent audience right the way through this on Facebook. There are people that I can see watching on Twitter, although I don't seem to be able to see names. But they've stuck with us right the way through from the beginning. And thank you, because we've had, I think, probably close on 200 comments on this show. We've been running nearly an hour and a half, which is by far the longest one that we've done. And we could easily do the same amount again. So it's been massively helpful. Alison, thank you. Really, thank you. It's been great. we're going to let you go because Neil and I need to wrap up the show, but we will organize this again. We'll come back with Alison as soon as we possibly can, doing stories and highlights.
Definitely.
Yes.
Thank you very much.
Thank you, Alison. On behalf of
you.
everyone, honestly, it's been really, really useful. Thank you so much.
You're welcome. Bye.
We'll see you soon.
Bye. All right.
Bye-bye.
I'm going to stop sharing the screen now, Dom, somehow, if I can figure out how to do. If you want to take me off the...
I know, fine. No, I stopped that ages ago. It's fine.
Okay. There you go.
Wow. It's just been mad. The comments are still coming in. Like an hour and 25 minutes running, we've still got people. So really thank you, because this is just Neil and I trying to do something that helps everybody out. And it does clearly work. So it's been really good. Neil, very, very quickly, what have we got coming up next week? Because we've been planning this for a while and we're actually starting to get some traction around it. So do you want to start talking about next week?
We've got two absolute legends of the event industry and broadcasting industry. Me and you.
Nick and Dom. I'm very much Dom or Ken, depending.
Everyone's going to start calling me Dick now. Dick at the Delegate Wranglers.
If they didn't already. And with a promise that you're not going to be slurping your water halfway through a show.
That's just the way I roll, you know. Anyway, so we're going to, the show's going to be called The Gamification of Online Events.
Yeah.
Everybody, I have just put it in the chat. Will you please click on it and register for that event? It doesn't mean anything. It just means that we can send you notifications about the event and reminders and things like that. And you can share the link with people. It's going to be a really interesting show, Dom.
I'm really looking forward to it. This is one that Neil and I don't know a huge amount about, but I've had this feeling for a while that was one that was going to be particularly valuable for people in the event industry and the event community. And the fact that we've been able to pull the show together, we've got a few people that have come up with some ideas and things that they've done that they want to share. So we'll have a couple of guests. We are going to do it as our very 80s phone-in. We've done it for all of the event-related shows that we've done. But it will be a phone-in. You can get involved. You can join in. You can ask questions. You can give your comments and opinions as well. So we will be doing that. That's on Tuesday at 1:30. We're back to our normal time next week. Tuesday 1:30. That's with me. That's with Neil. We will have another guest or two on.
And because it's an 80s style phone-in, I want everybody to send in the most peculiar household item for Dom to hold to his ear to pretend that it's a phone.
Oh God.
I think that would be amazing if he's standing there with a colander next to his ear. So send them into Dom.
Okay,
he would love to receive those.
I'll see what I can find to make that happen. Look, Neil, let's leave it there because
I know you need to go.
We've gone on, and I need to go. But everybody at home, thank you very, very much for watching. We will be back on Tuesday at 1:30, our normal regular time slot. In the meantime, have a wonderful weekend, and we'll see you very, very soon.
Thanks, guys. Peace out.